how did HERE get involved, and how was the financing arranged for the picture?
Well, you know, first of all, I'm so lucky to be a part of this film. It's so great what you guys delivered. It was amazing. But, you know, I read a lot of scripts in my job, and I remember reading Shelter and became really excited. It was so different. It stood out from all the scripts I read. It was incredibly romantic. The message of, you know, you have to sort of take care of yourself before you can take care of other people was really inspiring. It didn't have that quintessential scene in West Hollywood bar. It was set, you know, this different setting, there's characters you haven't seen before. You know, it was different. You know, these elements that I see so often in scripts were not there. So, you know, and you know, you sort of, a lot of people sum this up as, oh, it's a gay surf movie, and you sort of get this idea that, you know, there's wax, chess, you know, whatever. And it's not like that. I remember Jonah brought in this sort of lookbook, style book, that sort of communicated to us the feel of this movie, you know, and there were pictures of sunsets, and he brought in some, you know, some tracks of music, so it really communicated to us what this was about. But, you know, it was a small film. Jonah had produced and directed a couple of shorts, so we knew that he was talented. We knew that he could do something on budget, and, you know, it was special, so we went with it.
I do want to come back to that point, because I agree with you. It's a lot different than what you see at film festivals nowadays. It's not about two gay guys who struggle to find love and define family in their lives. It's about two guys who struggle to define families in their lives who happen to be gay, which is, I think, a unique perspective in LGBT filmmaking. I wonder if you can tell the story about how, you know, the Frisbee scene, you watching, I know way too much about this film. The Frisbee scene, you watching these two guys toss a Frisbee in Colorado was the impetus for writing the script.
Yeah, I've been trying to write a script, trying to come up with an idea for a script, and I was home, and I was watching these two guys. It was at sunset, and they were throwing a Frisbee back and forth, and they were silhouetted because the sun was going down, so I could only see their silhouettes, and I couldn't tell if they were brothers, or father and son, or lovers, or friends, or there was just no way to tell, and it just so didn't matter, and that like all came together, and I realized that that's what I wanted to do, was to create this story about family that didn't have being gay at the forefront of it. So I also knew that I wanted to put this story outside and to have these two guys fall in love outside and not in any of the places that we've traditionally seen people falling in love or meeting. And so that was just sort of the start of it, having something that they could connect to together that we hadn't seen. And so then just after that, I just, you know, carrying through with all of those themes of keeping it true to family and keeping these characters as people that were assets to their families and not portrayed as bringing their families down, but they actually were bringing something to their families that wasn't there otherwise and helping them.
It really is sort of lovely, because if you're not from California and you're watching this movie, you would think that, you know, this is what California is like. It was beautiful and sunny and just so wonderfully shot with beautiful lighting, and you know, and then you live here and you're on the 405. So I'm interested in the
bitter transplant. Bitter transplant from San Francisco.
I'm interested in the use of the St. Thomas Bridge. You know, you've got one character, Zach, who's sort of in the sort of ghetto kind of environment, urban, dirty, poor, and then you use this photo of the bridge as if it's a transition to the other side, you know, Malibu, Bel Air, wherever you guys filmed. You filmed all over the place, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that was, purposeful. Did you make location choices specifically in that regard?
Well, as I said, when we went to San Pedro, I really fell in love with just I knew I wanted Zach to be a street artist, and I wanted to find a part of LA that we hadn't seen before, even though we were shooting it in LA. And we got there, and I just found so much beauty in it, and I found his house was one of the first things I found, which was right underneath the bridge. And I had a lot of the people that worked on the film I'd worked on with other films with in the past, and one of them was a very talented location manager who's just extremely experienced and can, like we always say, she can get the White House. Like, if you wanted to be the first person to shoot the White House, Natasha's your girl. And so I just brought her there and I said, you have to get me this house. Like, I have to have this one, not the one next door. It's got to be this one, because it's the only house that's like that, where it's raised and it's right under that bridge. And she got it, and she got this family to move out and move next door so we could shoot in their house, and she got the back and the outside. And after that point, it became very obvious to me that that bridge had to be, I saw it and immediately said, yes, that's it, but didn't quite know exactly why it was it yet. And then all of the later started coming through, like, oh, this is what separates them. This is how he's going to get to the other side and go to see his friend, and this is what is going to be sitting there looming over him as a reminder that he's on one side of what he wants. And so it all just kind of kept going and going and going.